Chapter 31. Once again, the abbot's room was a scene of late repast. Once the news that Constance had brought and showed without doubt that Cluny would be attacking again. Abbot Mortimer was first to admit that he had been mistaken. The intelligence brought to us by our friend Constance is conclusive. Cluny will never rest until he has Redwall under his heel. Therefore, I feel I must apologize to my misjudgment of the situation. You, my commanders, were right, and now, thanks to Cluny, we know the secret details of the enemy horde's next attack. The abbot slapped a paw down on the plans. It's all here, but I have said before, I am not concerned with the fighting of war. It is my task to heal the injured and give sustenance to the defenders. It is the duty of you, my generals, to plan the repulse of this invasion. Matthias held up a paw. Father Abbot, it is our duty not only to defeat, but to retaliate. There was a strong murmur of agreement from around the table. The abbot bowed and placed his paws within his wide abbot sleeves. So be it, he said with great solemnity. I leave the salvation of Redwall to you, my commanders. The abbot bowed once more, then retired for the night, leaving Matthias, Constance, Winifred, Formal, and Amber Spike. The meeting continued, joined by Basil Staghare, Jess Squirrel. Methuselah also attended to act as mediator and counselor, approving some ideas while discouraging others, calming the hotheads and encouraging the timids. Much good sense was talked, and the tone of the meeting was that of creatures who were determined to win at all cost. The discussion, running on sensible lines, went on until it was nearly dawn. It was a confident and satisfied group of friends who shook paws as the meeting ended. Basil insisted on taking Constance to the infirmary to have her wounds treated. The badger tried to shrug him off. Pah, such a fuss over a few minor scratches, she grumbled. The hare chuckled admiringly. A few minor scratches? Will you listen to the heroine? Why, dear badger, those are honorable wounds, gained in the field of combat, I say. Jess, lend a paw here. Have you ever seen the dreadful gashes that our friend Constance has collected? By the left, old girl, you should be hors de combat. Not even a stag could put up with slashes like that. Come on now, let's have you. Where's the sensible girl? Constance was let off muttering by Jess and Basil. All the rest retired to their beds, with the exception of Matthias and Methuselah, who strolled about the cloisters, savoring the peace of the midnight hour. You know, old one, I can't think that a victory would be assured if only we had the Redwall Abbey sword, said Matthias. Methuselah nodded wistfully agreement. Indeed it would, but alas, for all our efforts, the trail is cold as midnight winter. I'm afraid we must resign ourselves to the fact that the sword is lost or hidden somewhere forever. The old gatehouse-keeper leaned upon the old young mouse's arm. They walked along, talking as it is and that. Eventually the conversation came about the sparrow's attack upon Jess. Methuselah shook a warning paw. Extremely dangerous birds, sparrows. Very warlike and quarrelsome. Lucky they keep to themselves and will only attack if their territory is intruded upon, as you saw today. By the way, did you see that young one was brought down by the archers? I certainly did, Matthias replied. Constance has got the bad-tempered little wretch imprisoned under a wash basket. What a nasty young villain. The arrow only scratched her, really. Shock more than anything was brought her down. Says her name is Warbeak. Methuselah turned aback. You mean to tell me you talked with her? Remarkable. The sparrow language, or sparrow as they call it, is very difficult to comprehend. Oh, I don't know, said Matthias casually. I didn't find it too hard. At least the little hooligan seems to understand what I'm saying to her. Methuselah's curiosity was aroused. And that what she been saying to you, Warbeak? Pretty much what you'd expect, Matthias replied. Either she or the leader, Bull King Sparrow, is going to kill me. Evidently, she looks on anything that can't fly as an enemy. They strayed over by the gatehouse. The old mouse invited Matthias in for a late nightcap. Methuselah appeared very interested in sparrows. He leafed through the old record book. Let me see. Summer of the big drought, winter of the deep drifts. Yes, I thought I'd find it here. Do you remember I told you of a sparrowhawk whom I treated about 4 years back? Well, here's my report, some small notes I made at the time. This hawk talked of sparrows. She called them winged mice. though for the life of me I cannot see any comparison between highly civilized mice and those primitive savages. Point was, though, this sparrowhawk said she'd been told that the sparrows once stole an object of great value to the abbey. She didn't say what it was. I thought the bird was merely trying to impress me with idle gossip. I should have questioned her further. We may have found out what the object was. Matthias looked pensive. Do you think it could be the sword? The old mouse sat tapping her paw upon the record book. It could have been, Matthias. It could have been. You see, the sparrows never communicate or bother with us. They never fly into our abbey, but up on the roof, well, that's a different matter. They consider that to be their territory, as I see. The sword is the only object of value that we had up there, although we did not know it at the time. So who else but another bird would know about the sparrows had stolen it? By the whiskers, old one, Matthias said excitedly, I think you've hit the nail upon the head. Do you think that our bad-tempered captive might know something about the rumor? Methuselah grinned mischievously. Lend me your dagger. I have a simple experiment I wish to try on our prisoner. Come on. Matthias escorted his friend to where the basket lay by the abbey walls. There was no sound from within. Methuselah tapped the basket sharply with the blade of the dagger. Warbeak was caught napping. She came to life in an irritable mood. Worms, all worms, you old mouse worm. Stay away, Warbeak killy. Methuselah tried his level best to act tough. Be silent, you little baggage, or I'll spike you on this dagger and your king too, if he dares come down. In a fury, Warbeak smashed her little body against the sides of the basket, causing the old mouse to step back. Ha! Got you, you killy Warbeak with dagger. Wait, see, you not get King Bull Sparrow with a little worm knife. Kings have big sword. Chop all mouse up. Killy pretty quick, you betcha. Matthias laughed in delight. You see, the Sparrow King owns a big sword. Matthias did a cartwheel. He whooped with joy. Methuselah, you are a magician, an ancient wizard. The old mouse shook his head modestly. Oh dear me. No, I think of myself as an aged but extremely intricate scholar.